Hey guys, Andrew McFarland here from StartAJuiceBar.com. Hope you guys are happy and healthy. Today we are talking about the 10 most common mistakes that I have seen new juice bar owners make when starting their businesses. And number 10 is the most critical thing that you want to avoid, so you definitely want to make sure that you stay to the end of the video to make sure you do not make this mistake. But before we dive into today's topic of conversation, if you guys are new to the channel and you don't know who I am or what we do, over the last decade, myself and our company has had the pleasure of running our own juice concepts, as well as helping hundreds of entrepreneurs all over the world launch and scale successful juice concepts, smoothie concepts, acai bowl businesses, and more. All the information on this channel is coming from this wealth of experience. Early invitation, press the like button. It's free. It helps you. It helps me. And make sure that more people see this content, as well as making sure that we know that you like the video. So we keep making more of these videos. Subscribe to the channel. And that's the last announcement. Without further ado, let's dive in. So what's the first most common mistake that I see people make when getting started in this business? It is doing things in the wrong order, okay? A lot of people think that finding the location is the first step that you're supposed to take. And there are so many steps in this process that you need to do and actually do them well in order to make sure that you're not making issues for you in your business, like designing your storefront before your menu's done, or thinking that you're going to get a location, but you haven't really talked to the architects or contractors. It's just a whole mess. And I see people make this mistake all the time, and that leads to them wasting a lot of money, wasting a lot of time, and you definitely want to make sure you do things in the right order. First, also, before I keep going on this list, know that I'm going to do a high-level overview. I will give you some tips throughout, but I'm just wanting to outline the most important things. Know that there is an online course below, and we do run a full spectrum development and consulting firm, so we can help you launch your business. Make sure you do it right, don't make these mistakes, and make sure you are as successful as possible. So let's move on to number 2. What is the second most common mistake that I see people make when getting started? It is not costing out their menu. So making a menu is hard enough, right? It's very, very complicated because you have to consider so many things, right? You have to consider that you're not having too many inventory items so you don't have spoilage. You have to consider that everything is coming out to the right size. You have to make sure that people actually like the product. You have enough variety, and you have to make sure it's profitable. And a lot of times I talk to people who do some of the things that I mentioned before, but they don't know what their profitability is. And so whether you have a recipe that tastes good and also supports your inventory, but if it doesn't actually have the right profitability, guess what? That's not a good recipe, and that's not going to work for your business. So that's the second most common mistake that I see. What is the third most common mistake that I see? It is not having an experienced team, and most importantly, manager. Okay, I see a lot of people that are starting and they want to manage their own juice business. Now, that's a very, very difficult thing to do if you haven't managed a juice bar before, or a restaurant, or you're not having us come to train your staff, because this is something that we do for our clients. We take our, we have experienced trainers that will go to our clients' locations to train their management team and their staff. Because the truth is that if you don't have experience, you're going to have to pay for that experience. And a lot of times that's through stress, heartache, and your hard-earned money. So not having an experienced manager and rest of your team is one of the biggest mistakes you can make, because people are underestimating the level of nuance and complexity and the things that need to happen in order to run this business well. Now, I'm not just saying run it average, I mean run it well. And there's a big difference between that, having a business that's just operating and a business that's operating well. Okay, so that's the third most common mistake. What's number 4? The fourth mistake that I see is bad branding, okay? Really, really mediocre branding, bad design, thoughtless design in the storefront, website, logos, everything. This is a huge problem, because it's going to put you in a position where your customers don't trust you. They don't trust you enough. They don't trust you like a big brand. Your company looks like a mom and pop shop. And it's not endearing. It's just people don't like it. They don't trust your business. And what happens is they don't spend more money at your business. And that ends up costing you way more than you thought you were saving by not having people who really know what they're doing when it comes to building a brand help you with your business. This is also something we can help you with. Reach out to me personally at Andrew@StartAJuiceBar.com if you're ready to see how we can support you with this and every other aspect of your business. All right, so what's the next most common mistake that I see? The fifth most common mistake that I see is having too many items in your inventory. This is one of those things that's going to lead to spoilage. It's going to lead to excessive amounts of cost, in your cost of goods category, right? It's going to lead to more labor than is needed because you don't have efficiency around ordering, you don't have efficiency around preparing your products. This is why it's important to make sure your inventory is tight and you have good inventory turnover. So what's the sixth most common mistake that I see? It's not being properly funded. I see a lot of people who get into situations where they may have already even signed a lease and they don't even know how much money they need to start the business, right? So you're in a contract and you have expenditures that are coming up and you can maybe float the rent, but you don't have enough money to actually start your business, and therefore you just start bleeding money, and every month that passes you have less and less money to actually start the business, and it becomes this sort of like quicksand situation that people are in financially, and they can't either open their business, or if they do open the business, they're cutting so many corners that they might as well have not opened the business. So what's number 7? This is not having the right equipment for your juice business. Now, when I say the right equipment, what do I mean? I mean having the right equipment for how much space you have, having the right equipment for the kinds of ways that you want to process your ingredients, having the right equipment for efficiency of labor, right? Getting the right yields from your juice. And that's just when I'm talking about a juicer, but there's many other things. There's refrigerators, there's freezers, there's blenders, there's all kinds of things. And sometimes it's not even just having the right, but it's having the right amount. So this is the 7th most common mistake that I see people make when getting started. What is the 8th most common mistake that I see when people are getting started in this business? That is not training their employees. It's really crazy to think that some people really open their storefronts without training their staff. No experience, and of course what happens in those scenarios, customer service is bad, you get bad Yelp reviews or bad Google reviews, people don't want to come to your business anymore, and things just spiral out of control from there. It's so important that you not only train your employees, but you know how to train your employees. Understand that when you open your storefront, people aren't going to give you a second chance. They're not going to say, oh, well, they just didn't train their employees and my juice came out bad or my smoothie came out slow or whatever else it was. No, people are going to make a judgment based on whatever their first experience is. So you need to make sure their first experience as a customer is a great experience. That's why your employees need to be trained. What is the 9th most common mistake that I see? It is having bad store design, right? Having a store design that doesn't work from a functional standpoint, meaning that it's not thought through of how the processes are going to go when people are making a product, where things are stored. People oftentimes have architects design locations when they have no experience running these kinds of businesses. Bad store design overall is going to be a big problem when it comes to the efficiency of your operation, making sure that your employees are happy, your customers are happy, and overall you're saving and making as much money as possible. Design is critical. And what is the 10th most common mistake that I see when people are getting started in this business? That is having a bad location. Now, there are so many things that make a good location and make a bad location, and I have a whole video about this in our course, but I just want to give you a quick overview, right? I see sometimes people pick locations that are good, but maybe they don't have parking, or good from a demographic standpoint, an area standpoint, but they don't have good street visibility, or bad because the lease terms are bad, right? Or bad because they have competitors that are too close to them. When analyzing a location, there's a lot of things that have to be taken into consideration in order to assess whether or not you have a good location or bad location. So, as I mentioned, this is just an overview. When you're ready, reach out and get some support. Andrew at StartAJuiceBar.com. Hope this helped you think about your potential mistakes in a way that will hopefully help you avoid them. Last few announcements. If you haven't liked the video yet and you're still here, then I know you liked the video. Press the like button. Questions or comments, go in the comment box below. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram at StartAJuiceBar. And then lastly, if you like podcasts, we have a podcast on iTunes and on Spotify. It's the Juice Bar Experts Podcast. That's all for today. Hope you guys are happy and healthy. I'll see you at the next video. Hope you guys have been enjoying the video content. If you're inspired to learn even more about how to start your juice business from scratch, for you, we have a free ebook. It's called the 15 Steps to Starting Your Juice Business. And this is going to go through a high-level overview, through a step-by-step process on how you get your business off the ground. Everything from, branding, menu development, finding the right location, and more. This is going to be a clear roadmap so you know how to go from where you are all the way to opening your store. If you want to go even deeper, we've also created an online course. It's called the Juice Bar Master Blueprint. This is going to go into great depth on everything from how do you put together and think about recipe development. How do you cost out your menu and what's the math around it? What equipment do you need? How do you design your store? How do you find the right location? And so much more. I know you're going to find a lot of value out of both of these. There's links in the description below. So I hope to see you guys at the next video, and enjoy.